Aloha! I am the Great Clement, and now we're playing Mega Man Xtreme 2 for the Game Boy Color. I guess you're wondering why I'm not playing Mega Man Xtreme 1. Well, Mega Man Xtreme 1 and Xtreme 2 have this... well, they like to copy the Super Nintendo levels. Screen for screen, platform for platform. And, you know, it's pretty much just a sort of reimagining or remake, and, you know, I didn't feel like I wanted to go through both of the games. Xtreme 2 at least has some innovative new levels, whereas Xtreme 1, they pretty much took every level and remade it shot for shot, and, you know, the plot was literally in Xtreme 1 that Sigma had somehow taken control of this mother computer, which somehow recorded all of Mega Man X's past battles, so he had to go into the computer to relive his past battles with past Mavericks to get to the core and stop Sigma, or some bullshit like that. It didn't really make sense, it was pretty stupid, and in the grand scheme of things, you know, it didn't really matter. Since my next game is going to be Mega Man X4, I figured to lead into it, we'd play Mega Man Xtreme 2, since it takes place between X3 and X4, and it sort of involves a character that has become a lot of cult fan... it's become a cult classic fan for some reason, to a lot of people. And her name is Iris. She's going to be our navigator in this game. When you start the game off, you have X mission and Zero mission. And basically, it's just a who do you want to play the game as kind of mode. When you beat the game with both characters, you then unlock Xtreme Mission, and Xtreme Mission allows you to switch between either the character at free will, whenever you want, and it allows all 8 Mavericks to be on the screen at once. Because when you play as X, you can only when you play as X, you can only fight 4 certain Mavericks, and when you play as Zero, vice versa. So Xtreme mode, it unlocks all of the Mavericks all at once. It allows you to switch on the fly between the two characters, and you get the true ending when you beat it. Because when you beat the game with X or Zero, you fight the second last boss, and then it just ends. It cuts to credits, and makes you replay the other guy. Xtreme mode has the true ending, and that's why we're going to be taking on Xtreme mode, and not the other X or Zero missions. We're playing the same levels, we're doing everything the same, so it doesn't really matter. If there is a slight difficulty increase, I haven't noticed it. It feels the same difficulty to me, so I don't know. So anyway, the plot involves Reploids who are just shutting down for no reason. They're not working, and the source is from Laguz Island, where X and Zero are coming to check things out. Turns out a lot of Mavericks they've fought in before have come back, and the reason behind this is yet to be seen. So yeah, this is the first game, well not the first game, X4, I guess X3 is the first game where you can play as Zero, but like, chronologically, it's the first game where you can actually control Zero, you know, as he is with the beam saber, the melee attacker he really is. For this scene, X has to go in the lower path and Zero has to go in the upper path, so I figured I'd show off both paths. So once X has done the lower path, boom, here's Zero. He's a melee type attacker. In X3 he had a Mega Buster, but in every other game besides X3, he uses his beam saber to cut things down. And yeah, he's a lot stronger than X is, but he has to get in real close to enemies, which makes things a little bit harder. But when you're good with Zero, man, you can rape enemies like it's no problem. Zero's one of my favorite characters. I usually like to play him over X in the future games. He's a badass, what can I say? The ponytail, it's just badass. What's this place? The enemy is coming! And this is the first boss of the intro stage. He can actually take you down pretty badly. He hits you for a good amount of damage, but he has this very simple pattern. When he hits you, the whole screen flashes, and then when it's not flashing, you can hit him again. But he doesn't move when the screen is flashing, so really all you have to do is time your shots well, and every time it stops flashing, hit him, and boom. It's not really much of a struggle to fight this guy. Of course, if he does hit you, it'll hurt, so be warned for that. Are you alright, Zero? There seems to be so many more enemies. This is crazy. What is their purpose, anyway? I must find out. And they made good use of the color scheme in the Game Boy Color, I must say. Everything looks pretty. And this is Iris, our navigator, if you didn't see already. X-Zero, we've just received... What is it, Iris? Is it you? Who has broken into my island? Who are you? I'm a soul eraser. I erase the souls of evil Mavericks. That can't be. What do you really do? It takes courage to ask someone like me a question like that. Really? Interesting. Well then, let's play a little game. There are 8 guardians on this island. Retire all of them, and then I will battle you. These silly games are pointless. It seems that retiring 8 might be easier than persuading 1. You're very quick, Zero. My name is Gareth. Don't forget it. Gareth? I can't find any data on such a Reploid in our database. Plus, we have found unfamiliar items. We have also found DNA data that was draining out of the enemies. They seem to have been resurrecting enemies by somehow utilizing DNA. They are erasing the Reploid's DNA in order to create items. The texture's moving so slow, I can't even read this naturally. I'm sorry. I wish they would just give us the big full text box and then boom. But basically what they're getting at is that Reploids have souls exactly like humans, only they're DNA souls. And Gareth and whoever he's working with are stealing souls from Reploids all over the world and using them for their own power. It sounds retarded, but hey, X and Zero can also gather DNA souls from enemies you kill, and you can use the souls to power up your weapons, to buy new weapons rather. These are the 8 Mavericks. You've seen them in past X games from X to 2 to 3, and this is the parts that you can buy from Iris. When you have enough data souls in the top right corner, you can buy certain items. I just got a Zero part called the Zero Saber +1. It makes Zero's beam saber that much stronger, so I figured I'd buy it right off the bat, because, you know, having a beam saber is badass. As for the order I'm going in Xtreme 2, it doesn't really matter what order I go in, quite frankly. X and Zero hit so hard when their parts are upgraded that I don't even need weaknesses. I really don't. With a +1 Zero, I can still take down Mavericks pretty damn good, I must say. So I never memorized weaknesses because the X-Buster and the Beam Saber are going to be my main weapons of choice. Maybe that's not the way to play, but I've tried weaknesses on Mavericks, and it doesn't seem to do as bad a job as the X-Buster and the Beam Saber. Because when you hit them with their weaknesses, they get really stunned and everything, right? But when you hit them with the X-Buster and the Beam Saber, they just slightly get stunned, and then you can keep hitting them. And they do more damage than the weakness in the later part of the game. I swear to God, it's going to be so awesome. You'll see it. Anyway, if you want your first heart tank for X, go up here. And you can make the wall jump, I swear. You'll see it. It looks like it can't be made, but if you jump high enough, your head will just reach it, and you'll be able to wall jump off of it. Remember this. Whoever you pick up a heart tank with, they will keep it, and their health will be grown, but the other characters will not. So you have to choose who gets what heart tank wisely. Since this is an X-only level in the X mission, rather, I figured I'd give all the upgrades in this level to X, because it's supposed to be his level, right? This is the level he plays in the X mission mode. So, this is how I'm doing it. Every X mission mode, I'm going to give it to X, and every Zero mission mode, I'm going to give it to Zero. You know. As for enemies, if you played Mega Man X, this level really looks familiar to you. I destroyed a submarine, and it took me underground to this snake robot. Yeah, exactly taken from X. They're the same type of enemies, and it's just different. It's just on a handheld on the Game Boy, with nice, pretty color. But I'll see you in Part 2.